of PSINet Inc., a leading commercial internet service provider. And Mr. Mulata headed PSINet's infrastructure provisioning organization that operated in 28 countries. He served as president of PSINet's India, Middle East, and Africa unit, and also served as the president of PSINet Ventures, the company's 160 million corporate venture unit. In addition to M2Z Networks, Mr. Mulata serves on the board of directors of Fiber Tower, which is in NASDAQ, FTWR, and on the board of HR Smart, a privately held HR application service provider, ASP, ranked as one of the fastest growing companies by Inc. magazine. Additionally, Mr. Mulata serves on the advisory boards of Packet Hub Inc. and Visto Inc., two innovative Silicon Valley companies, and Mr. Mulata holds degrees in engineering, law, and business from the University of Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome this distinguished speaker, Mr. Mulata.
Well, thank you for inviting me to speak this morning. It's a tremendous honor for someone like myself to not only.
Microphone on.
Is it okay? Yes, now it is microphone on. So, can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you for inviting me to speak again this morning. It's an honor, not only because of the millennium, but also to follow in one of my heroes, Noah Samara. When I've been in the industry for about 22 years, and 5 years into my career, I ran into Noah, and when people ask me to describe him, he expects me to tell that he's very handsome and smart and all that. The way I describe him is I say that he is the person who did teach me how to think big. If you have to understand, in 1990, 93, when we first met in that time frame, the vision that he had of WorldSpace really shows us what this meeting is all about, that he created something with a vision of how big it could become and how it could impact people, and that is what has also driven me to do what I've done in my career, which is to think big. And I think that's what today's meeting is about today as we think about the next millennium for our country and our people. I'm also very honored to meet so many people that have had so much experience and have been working to share that across the oceans. I have great hopes that ICT can actually advance our country and our people to a better status in today's very fast-moving global economy. And I think it's with that opportunity in mind that I want to congratulate everybody for all of us having gotten to where we are in this millennium. Today, I'm going to take it a little bit in a different direction than where Noah took it, and I think his was a very moving understanding of why we have to worry about ICT. I spent a number of years in my career as a policy regulator worrying about ICT types of issues. So I'm going to take what Noah's vision and I'm going to try and translate it into things I think are practical issues that we have to consider when we try and bring ICT into a country like Ethiopia. These policy issues that I bring require us really to reflect on the very same issues that Noah talked about, the fundamental aspects about what we care about our society. He talked about, do we care about lives of people, the betterment of society? Do we care about time and how we can use that to influence people? And I think that's the same inherent questions that I'll bring up. Our people have the intellectual capacity to succeed. We have the determination to succeed. That's absolutely, in my mind, one of the clearest evidences here in today's room, is we have the capacity. The question is, why haven't the country moved forward? Why do we lag? And what we have to do is think about what issues get in the way of that. My comments were developed during my term as an entrepreneur, as a very senior government official in the United States, especially working on wireless issues, which has fundamentally changed the way America operates, as well as a consultant over the years working on a number of privatization issues across the world, telecom privatization. Most importantly, though, my views were developed when I was head of PSINet's India, Middle East, and Africa unit, and also the head person that developed fiber networks throughout the globe. In that role, my main job was to go to governments and explain to open up ICT in markets like India and parts of Africa and the Middle East. And I worked there with entrepreneurs, I worked there with regulators and companies, and learned a great deal about why these things matter. Now, I also want to be very clear that I do come with a very particular set of perspective. I'm a very strong believer in individual rights. I'm a very strong believer in free markets, and that I favor entrepreneurship and competitive markets over any other business model. I'm also very much in favor, as you can see, I have taken, my life savings and gone into the same thing that